Hello, what's up, everyone? Give me a few minutes to kind of get stuff together. How is everyone? I'm sure I will catch up on chat. I'm curious how many people end up um, being here. Okay, it seems I am alive. All right. Patty says, sorry I can't be here today. I'm demonstrating against fascists at the time. Have a good time. My goodness. Do what you gotta do. Gay says, hi, hi. Made it by the skin of my teeth. Ha. Not much to catch up on. Well, I wasn't sure since I was 5 minutes late to my own thing. And I'm not surprised at the same time because um I did not make a notification on, like, I didn't make a story, I didn't make a post on the community, so I have no idea if there will be many people hopping on today. How are you doing today, Gay? Let's see. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Yeah, tisk tisk, so tardy. Yeah, I see you. Now I know. I guess that's where my kid gets it from. Shit. Um. So yeah, what do we talk about today? We've often talked about music preferences. I mean, makes sense, right? We've talked a little bit about movies. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to think of if I can see how many people are actually on. Yep, bear with me. Well, the live is super awkward. Well, I mean, that's all the time, but you're doing fine for an old fart. Oh my goodness. Why you gotta call yourself old fart? Make me have a say that out loud. I'd rather I'd rather say all the cuss words than old fart. Sorry, I apparently have like a slightly runny nose. Yay, allergies. All right, let's see. We've got some people in here. It says, so yeah, we got gay and we got ho ho. So I'm always way out of date. Don't watch many movies until they hit TV. I mean, really, I don't either. I haven't gone to a theater. I don't go to theaters often. I did recently ish go to a theater and like see it that way, but I stream them all. Also, it looks like my internet connection sucks right now. Is it super wacky? All right. Tell us more about your job and what a sound engineer does. For some reason, I find that field super interesting. Internet is jumpy. Yeah, it's in the red a lot. Right now, it's in yellow, and usually it's green. There must be a lot of people using it right now. I mean, we don't have that many people in our office. Yeah, it's shoddy right now. Part of me wants to like freaking restart. Um, okay, what let's see, more about sound engineering. Man, this is Sorry, I'm like sidetracked by the fact that this internet is just dropped frame numbers is crazy. Well, let me know if it gets like extra annoying and you can't understand what I'm saying. Because I may just, I might try something and come back on. All right, so more about engineering. The let's see, I'm trying. There's so many aspects to it. I'll start with that. There's so many aspects to it. You know, when I like I said, I've said it before. When I started into the idea of being an audio engineer, Fleming, hello. Daryl, hi GINX, how are you? I am doing well. Currently talking a little bit about more of what I do as a sound engineer. How are you? Okay, Ho says sound is solid for me, just the video portion is a little laggy. Okay, as long as you can hear me, that's what I care about. Thank you. So more about sound engineering. A sound engineer can do a lot of different things. When I went in the intention of music production. I really loved the idea of doing live sound, you know, being that front of house sound engineer or being the crew on stage, you know, setting up mics and cables. And I did that for years. So that's what I went into it for. Then as I learned the multiple facets of audio engineering and sound engineering, I fell in love with the idea of sound effects, like post-production audio, which is sound effects, post-dialogue replacement, where about 70 to 75% of like a movie is dialogue is recorded, re-recorded post-production. So there's that. There's the sound design of like a perfect example. What I think of is there was a back in the day there was a behind the scenes video of Jurassic Park, and they talk about how they created the sounds of the dinosaurs. Well, they mixed like a cow and a lion and a like they mixed things together, and those they go out in the field out wherever and get recordings of them and then mash them together, where you can also get stuff on a library, but like you put that stuff together. And then there's Foley sound effects where you're not getting it out of the field or like out in the field recording yourself and then putting them together. Foley is where you're in a studio and say there's someone running on gravel. Well, in that studio, it's a Foley studio. In that studio, there's a like box, but like down in the ground, where you literally stand in it and put a microphone down near it and sync, like run like the person is running over gravel, sync it to how they are running, and that's how you get the sound of the gravel. Uh, and then there's just the straight up sound effects where like, oh, a gunshot, you know, just put random. Like I said, those often comes from like a library of effects. Uh, and that's I fell in love with that aspect of things. And I started my business, GINX Media, in 2015, doing freelance work on Fiverr.com. I like to call it paid practice while I was working a 9 to 5 job, while also doing random side live audio gigs. But at the house, I was doing voiceover work. People would hire me for really freaking cheap. It was ridiculous, but it helped me get some confidence up in front of the mic, about my voice, about my editing, and I would do like random little like e-learning videos, commercials, voicemails, things like that. Glad to hear you're good, Daryl. Micah, what's up? How are you? Okay, sounds like you do something different every day. Well, I'm talking like that's I did it once. Um in 2019 is when I ended up getting this studio. I started doing working with podcasts. So I was doing voiceover and live audio stuff. From basically 2015 to 2019. I quit the 9 to 5 in 2017, went full time voiceover, audiobook recording, production, and and again alongside that live audio. Well, then in 2019, around like June, July, August, September, like that time of the year, I decided I wanted to go into helping people produce, edit, record podcasts. I started with just editing, and my goodness, they came with this like horrible. I mean, I didn't know how to onboard or prepare my clients' audio from their perspective. Like they were recording at their house, but I didn't know to like prepare them to be like, hey, watch out for these things, or else I will not be able to actually properly edit this. Um, and then that's when I was like, all right, this office space was available, and um and I was like, all right, I need a place where people can come if they want to record, and a place where I'm not working at home. I was working 3 feet from my bed for like 15 to 4 years, so I needed my own space. Daryl, interesting. I play bass, guitar, and a bit of keys. I use a lot of effects to make ambient music, lots of layers, that sort of thing, but I'm pretty lo fi. I think that's awesome. I have never been one to be good at like composition of music, and I noodle on the guitar, and that is it. I do not call myself a guitarist. I've never actually learned anything useful. I mean, I know like, you know, the 3, 4, 5 standard chords, but that's about it. And I just mess around on it. Micah says, had a bit of blizzard last night, almost 2 feet of snow. Oof. Are you keeping warm? Or are you out in it? Or, I mean, I guess probably not. I would hope not right now. He says, I forgot you're in one of the Nordic countries, right, Micah? Uh, all right, so that's the background of like the type of stuff I've gotten into. And right now I am strictly working uh podcast production, recording, uh editing, and helping my clients publish stuff, as well as some audiobook work where I either help edit someone else who's the voiceover and record it here, or I'm the voice actor on the audiobook and as well as recording, editing it. Micah says, from Finland, living in Norway, over 200 miles north of the Arctic Circle. That's wild. I know you've told us about that. Gay says, I almost wish we'd get snow here. So dull and brown. Yay, not a blizzard, though. I always forget. Where are you? Gay, sorry. I know you've told me. my, my memory sucks. So that's a little background as to what I do, what I work on. And there's so many other ways to work. I mean, there's the standard in studio music production where you have like a massive closet of badass mics and you use all sorts of different microphones on instruments, vocals. You with vocals, you often use multiple microphones, either all at the same time or do different takes and then layer those takes. Um, as well as recording guitar, all the things you can layer anything and it sounds. I love when people do take the time to thoroughly layer in, like on a vocal. You don't just put well, okay, I say you can do whatever you want, but like I think of like a well produced vocal will have a gate, a noise gate. Everyone needs a noise gate, which like just blocks out background noise. Which I actually have I have a noise gate on my microphone because I have a lot of kind of white noise from my PC. And anyhow, so like in a studio, you've got the vocal, you've got a noise gate, sometimes a limiter depending, which is a very similar thing, but it's just making sure that it's not going above a certain volume level, or the opposite, going, there's different ways. Anyhow, as well as not just reverb, but also a delay within the reverb, which a delay would be like if a song is 101 beats per minute, you like tap the delay, the beat of the song, which then that delay will sync up and make it sound, it'll sync up, but it'll still be delayed. So it will go along with the beat, the rest of the beat. Those are some little fun notes about what you can do with vocals. Gay says, I'm a suburb of Rochester, New York. Okay, I'm in Ohio and it's gray. So much rain. If we had snow instead of rain, we'd be in a blizzard type of thing. We've had a lot of rain the last week. Roy says, and that's why I live in California. Bay Area, 50 to 70 all year round. Much easier to listen to good music when you're not frozen. That's I mean, that's fair thought process. I don't know what I would do if like the seasons didn't change, like, or the weather didn't change. Fleming, do you know of any online free sound effect library? Oh, that's a really fantastic question. I used to say Audio Jungle, but you actually have to, I believe you have to pay for it a lot now. Let me check. Actually, I'm looking right now. They have royalty free music. They should have no. Audio. Sound effects. Do they have free? Yeah. But they are not free, I don't think. Oh, I know that they exist and I cannot think of them right now. I use Audio Jungle for my clients and the intro music, and I either purchase a license and have it included in my cost of service, or or they can choose to buy the license, and usually it's like $1 to $20, and they can use it forever. Um, with that license, simple super license, or maybe for not forever, but like, I mean, for a very, very long time. FV says hello. GINX, Richard, expat, Brit, and France, if I could speak. Hello, Richard. How are you? Roy, and that's why I live. Oh, I already saw that. Sorry. Uh, yeah, Fleming. I gotta look into that. They exist. I know they do. I have not. I have not gone to look at because I purchased like the Sony effects sound effects library, which is just insanely amazing, but it's definitely not free. But it's worth it um, for me as a sound engineer who, although I don't do a whole lot of sound design in my podcast, which I have done before. If you want to check out one that has sound design and is just a really cool story, my clients have a podcast named Family Drama. Family Drama. And it is a twist on true crime. And that has some sound design in it. I don't know what, that was just a random thing, but that's one of my favorite projects I worked on. And we want to do a second season. It's just hard because we want to bring on other guests. The reason it's a twist on true crime is because it is the mom. No, I'm sorry. The sister of a I don't know if he's serial. I know he's a rapist and I believe serial killer in the area of Ohio, like central Ohio-ish area. So it's the sister of this guy who had 24 personalities. And there's actually a documentary about it, the 24 Faces of Billy Milligan, I believe it's called. Anyhow, so Billy Milligan's sister, Kathy, tells her story of how her and her brother and siblings grew up in like a really messed up childhood and lots of traumatic stuff. And she tells the story. She tells her story because everyone hears, not everyone, but the story you always hear is of the criminal. But no one ever knows the story of the family because they live in the shadows. They can't talk about what they like. It's taboo. It's not okay for them to talk about what it was like to live in that world. So it's a really cool podcast. I'm way behind on comments, I think. All right, Gabe. Blizzard and Arctic are a bit of a pain, I'll assure you. Schools were closed because strong wind, ferries, planes grounded. Wow. I have often wondered just how much you can do with a live performance while it is actually going on. Oh, there's tons that you can do, especially now with the digital consoles. So, for example, the guy I work with on his like gigs, festivals, whatever it is, he's got the console, the soundboard console, like front of house that you see, as well as the side mixing console for the band that you usually don't see. But what I'm saying is, say the front of house has the board, sets up the mix, brings up the volumes, then grabs their iPad and moves around the audience to make sure everything sounds good from all directions, and you're continuously like tweaking EQ and things like that. It's wild. When the engineers know what they're doing, it's really cool to watch. I was always a sound tech, audio assistant tech, where I was one help making sure the cables all worked, and if they didn't, I'd run up on stage and switch them out and help build up the stage before and help run sound check. But yeah, they can do a lot. And if you really, really, really listen, and not so much like at an arena, type of concert, because a lot of times their their sound engineer is like traveling with them and their settings are like set already. But if you go to like a festival, um you will if you ever think to really pay attention to the audio, you will notice there will be a difference between what it sounds like in the first few songs, and and it'll progress to like a more balanced mix once you're into like, I mean, ideally by the end of the first song, but that doesn't always happen. Usually by the third song it should be like really well balanced. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I don't know what I just why I just, sorry. I'm I'm very ADD right now. All right. He says, don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you for that. Flemings. Oh, I see you would like to use sounds for RPG. I know they exist. Sorry, Fleming. I that's the Gay says, do you have polar bears and have to make sure you have a rifle near when you go out, Micah? Micah says, Gay, ha, no polar bears here. Brown bears do roam around here, but they are shy, no need for a gun. David Cross. My Oh, sorry. There we go. David Cross. Evening all. Just saw you were on and thought I'd drop by. Thank you so much for stopping by. What time is it for you? Daryl, I use delay, different types of reverb, pitch shift, and some of the electro harmonics pedals that emulate different instruments using the guitar or bass just for pitch. It's really good fun. Oh, yeah, that's a blast. Uh, yeah, those pedals are so fun. The electro harmonics. And like I don't use them myself, but I know enough about them, and I have to like understand them as an audio engineer, or else I'd be like, out of luck. But also one reason I don't work in music production, because it's just such, it's a lot. It's a lot. And it's a lot of awesome, but I don't retain information. I do retain it best when I'm actually actively doing something. But it's just not my strong suit. My strong suit is definitely in dialogue, sound design, cleaning out all the background noise, post production in general. I could do post production and music now that I think of it. Micah says, reminds me of the early 90s. I was helping student theater, and sound engineer said that take over for me. I was like, what do I do? Just take the master volume down, down and up again if shit hit the fan. I mean, yeah. Um, that's funny. Yeah, because you know, it's it depends on what that is that can fit. There are certain things that, like, if it's feedback and you like bring down the volume and then bring it up, that might help, but it also depends on where the mic is, depending on why the feedback is being created. So feedback is really, if you ever hear feedback during a show, at a bar, at a concert, at wherever, the audio engineer is like immediate, like in high alert, like going to check all the EQs and find what microphone is is causing it, and then you have to find which frequency to turn up or down. Yeah. Uh, Everyone stares at the sound engineer when feedback happens, and oftentimes feedback is happening due to placement of microphone uh, against a monitor, near a monitor, or like if someone has a hat, it could cause feedback. So in sound check, if they're gonna wear a hat um, on stage during the show, they need to be wearing that same hat when we do sound check. If they do not, there's going to be feedback real fast because the microphone won't be tuned correctly. (1836). I do not often use military time. 4, 10, 8, 6, 30. I should know that should not have taken me that long. Micah, that was his advice if feedback happens. Yeah, that is one thing that you can do because it basically kind of resets what the mic is picking up. I mean, it's still picking it up, but if someone on stage is happens to their microphone cause feedback, they should also know, like, okay, I need to like shift wherever, even if it's just slightly. And then once you come back up, it should be okay. You would hope. Richard says feedback, double notch filter, easy to use. I made a few. Yeah, and there are really cool ways to handle it really fast. But that's also why I'm not a I rarely ran sound live. I was always the tech assistant. I would help with sound check, and that's about it in regards to the actual mix and such. Or I'd run it. I'd run the mix to make sure nothing blew up while like main engineer went to the bathroom or whatever. And I admit that because I'm not gonna, it's a bummer. The reason I didn't do it, and I say didn't because I have not done a live gig in a long time, but the reason I don't, you know, jump at the chance to do it is because I don't have the confidence in it. In that, so I bet I could. I know my shit, like, and I don't feel like I know enough in that realm. But it's like anything. It's like you're not gonna learn how to do it well if you don't even try once, which I did. I just not my strong suit. I understand that there's so much technology now. When I was a kid, if you wanted distortion, you cut the cone off the speaker. I now use 3 pedals, one for drive, one distortion, and one for fuzz. Fun. I love it. Richard says 4 knobs, 2 for notch frequencies, and 2 for the depth. Ooh. Line source speakers for the win. That's awesome. I love it. Thank you for like. Well, again, I'm sure that people who are in doing this all the time live would know that immediately, or at least understand that concept and be like, "Duh, you can do this." Not duh, you can do this as an option, and it's much better. Micah, it was my first time behind mix table and last. I hated music in school. Never played an instrument except drunk a couple of times. Micah says, my instruments are hammer and axe, carpenter. I love it. I love it. Oh, well, I mean, I got into audio engineering because I knew I wanted to be able to perform. I played saxophone for 8 years and was never good at it. I loved it. I could read music. I could play. Was I good at playing? No. Micah bongo bong. Okay, so I'm not a musician at all. Can't sing either. I wish I could sing. I've said it before on these lives. I would totally invest in like a voiceover, or not voiceover, a vocal coach to teach me how to sing. I did have a coach for a while, and I have some really cool exercises that I do to keep my voice strong. Um, for things like this, or if I go on stage, which I don't go on stage very often, but podcasts and these streams and such when I'm talking a lot. So I did get to work with the vocal coach, but for the purpose of speaking versus singing. Daryl says, I can't sing, that's why I play ambient stuff. Gay says, I took lessons on the trumpet when I was in elementary school, but I stunk. I was one of the few kids that actually was glad when the got braces because I had to quit the trumpet. I feel that. I feel that. I had a friend who see our high school band was not one that like you had to audition for. It was like if you want to play and you want to be in band, come join. Hold an instrument if you absolutely can't play. I had one of my friends likes to say she held the French horn, and another one of my friends played trombone, but more often than not just held it. I'm like, yo, it was actually really cool to have a band experience like that because it was 100% all about fun. It was not about like you need to be amazing. Daryl, my nickname is any old note will do. That's hilarious. Mike played bongo drum once public at the beach with friends. Very Saint Ned. I don't know what that means. Oh, never mind. Scratch it. I know what you were saying. Sorry. I was like, what is Saint Ned? Wow. I've never seen it written like that. Now I know. That's the best way to play bongos. I mean, this. Yeah. Yeah. 420 friendly. Yeah, very 420 friendly here. And FYI, this is funny. I'm just going to say this. I think people think that I am like always in that state of mind. I think there are some people. Some people did used to think it before I even enjoyed it. But I am not. I can only do it during the at nighttime because I can't function. Richard said Dave's not here. Why is that? What is that? Is that a reference to something, or is it like actually? So, bear with me, y'all. Oh, Dave. I don't know. Anyhow, so hmm. Gay says it never hit me at all when I was in college, but I understand it's a lot stronger now. I don't know that it's a lot stronger. It's just so many different varieties. I have the medicinal variety. It's good for my fibromyalgia. Yep. I do not. I could, but I've chosen not to. I just have to wait. Ohio's almost there. September, I think everything will be good to go. I will have a very good birthday. I know. Okay, so I know Cheech and Chong, Richard. I know Cheech and Chong, and that's why I was like, wait, is this a reference? And the only reason I say that is I don't remember things properly. Like my brain does not retain things. And what in my head thought to myself, okay, what movie is this from? Is that Soren? Soren? How do you say your name? It's really cool looking. um, Good afternoon from Frankfurt, Germany. Thank you for being here. Mike, a carpenter job is not something to do stone measuring that measuring and shit. You have to remember what you measured, right? Measure many times, cut once. Yep. CERN? 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 CERN. Sorry. Bear with me. Oh, CERN. 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 Okay, cool. Thank you. Usually it ends up measured twice, cut thrice. And as a semi outside response to ho ho, not quite, only slightly, and I'm gonna keep it that way. Anyhow, that was a side conversation. Saran, you're doing all right. I try my best, and I am fully aware that I don't. My best is not always fantastic. A for effort. Um, let's see. I know nothing about carpentry. My dad does a lot of that kind of stuff. Okay. FB said, Richard says, Dave's Not Here comes from their first album simply called Cheech and Chong. Cheech and Chong. I just remember the movies. Who was it that was on, ended up being on The Masked Singer? Um, it was one of them. I don't know if it was Cheech or Chong. I can't remember. It's been too long. He was a pineapple, and I thought that was the most. Or was he a pineapple? I know there were pineapples involved. I think. I could completely be making that up. I should tell. I will check that out. I'm curious now. So, like, how is your week, even though it's just Tuesday, or how's it going? Daryl, anyway, I'm a newbie in the camp, as you probably already know. I came by as a result of seeing you on the Warnings Discord. I thought it would be nice to communicate with you. That's awesome. Thank you, Daryl. That's so cool that I'm on the Warnings Discord. I haven't even done one of a reaction yet, but I am. They're on my list. Actually, they might be this week. Hell, they might be tomorrow. I don't know. Don't anything I say. Do not. I think it's not a promise. ADD brain likes to just think of all the ideas and then forget them or change them very quickly. Jay says anything by the warning is good for me. Yeah, Daryl, that's awesome. That I'm it, like what someone posted me on like a link to a video. Soren says, "Don't forget Ren's Loco that came out just minutes ago today. He has a new thing." I'm not even gonna try and say that. Uh, mm, actually, I haven't heard anything yet from the warning. I have not yet, and I check. Uh, I have not yet. Obviously, it would be on my channel by now, and I do look forward to checking it out. Okay, so Loco is all new all acapella rap toasting singing song. Nice. Daryl says, wrong key. We like to see people who may be interested in the band. You being a sound engineer would appreciate the quality of their live performances. Nice. Micah, Ren is the reason I'm here today. Never saw a single reaction before Ren. That's awesome. Monty, hey, hey. How are you, Monty? And Monty says, how are we all doing today? I'm doing surprisingly well considering. I am running on like 3.5 hours of sleep. Insomnia hit hard last night. Did not fall asleep until 4 a.m. But I'm good because I'm here with you guys and I have energy because I have had a triple shot of espresso on ice earlier, and might decide to get a freaking energy drink. But I am super good. I'm glad to be here, chilling with cool humans. Micah from Germany, but do understand Swedish and other Scandinavian languages. Not finished though. I apologize. I'm working on it. Micah says hee hee. Gay says I know that Finland is Suomi and Kiitos means thank you. Suomi. Uh, I, but that's it. I probably did not say those correct. Monty, I'm great. Oh no, I hope you managed to get some good rest later. It'll happen eventually. The issue is the fact that the night before, so going into Monday, I went to bed at like midnight, which is early for me, and slept until like 9. And 9 hours of sleep, I think, just totally messes my body up. which doesn't make sense. Daryl says, "Hey, Monty, I think I know you." Monty says, "Hey, Daryl." I'll try to remember the 2 eyes. How is everyone else? Did people sleep well? Did anyone else? Did people sleep well? Can I live vicariously through you? I also just I feed the insomnia too. Like it doesn't help. Like I just surf, usually YouTube or Hulu. Like I'm not. I know you're probably talking to anyone else but me, because I'm not going to. Not because I don't want to. Not because I don't care. That is not why. I don't know how to explain why. In fact. Okay, says I never sleep well. I'm up and down all night. Arthritis keeps waking me up. I feel that. I don't have arthritis as much as I have. I am a 38-year-old with like 85-year-old hips. It's and by bad sciatica or bad sciatic nerve. Monty, I get long sleep, but I never woken up fresh and alert. Ugh, that's frustrating. Finish. Good luck with that. I have lived in France for 11 years. Only just get by. Engineer, not linguist. Not linguist. Yep, that's yeah. That is. I'm right there with you, Richard. Da, 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 da. I want to see if I can see who's in here. I don't think I can. All right, Daryl says, "Gay, I know how you feel. Fibromyalgia doesn't go to sleep either. It's pain. It's a pain. It's a pain, literally. Bonjour. I know. I know how to say that. And I am guessing that has something to do with engineer, not linguist. Basically, okay, Gay, I just saw I have to go do some baking. Nice chatting with y'all. See you next time, maybe. Have an awesome rest of the day or night. Day. I keep forgetting day. Yes, you are day. Micah earlier. We'll have to run away for dinner. Have a good dinner. Thank you for hopping in. Nice. Bonjour, good evening. Engineer and linguist. Well, no. Yeah, I don't know how to say that one. Walnut? I don't know what the UI sound makes. Mike says scroll up and you'll get the earlier comment. Micah. Okay. Finish Ismo. Ismo is actually voted as best comedian of the year in USA. Ooh. Okay. Ismo Licola? I'm writing that down so that I know what it looks like. Spelled. Bear with me. Okay. Check on the ever growing list of things to check out. No means well, but it's Finnish. You know, because I don't say words that are different languages because I don't know what they mean. Okay, he explains anonin. If I'm saying that right. Good to know. Thank you. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here today. It's kind of oh well in English. Okay. Daryl, so we can be naughty then. I mean, do what you gotta do, I guess. Just don't get the live shut down. I'm just kidding. Please behave. Oh, let's see. There's only a couple peeps on. It says that there are 7 people. Let's see. We've got Micah, Daryl, Richard. Are there who are the lurkers? I invite you to say hello and let me know how you're doing. It's okay. We're nice here. We have fun. I love to interact. It is my goal to make sure that the spaces that I run, the spaces that I am in, are safe spaces. Daryl, I have always had a badass sense of humor. It gets me in trouble sometimes. I very much relate. Yeah, absolutely can relate to that. Gotta rein it in sometimes. I try. I try to. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. I'm trying to think. I talked about a lot about engineering. I don't know. Have any questions for me to like spark a rant? Hello, how are you? Chow, I know you've said your name, and I know I make your name Chow, and I forget every freaking time. But thank you for being here. It's not because I forget you, it's because my brain does not retain things. Micah, I can live, play shaking my 54-year-old booty. I can live shaking my 50. Do what you gotta do, right? Daryl says my wife and grandchildren think I'm a bit of a case. Richard says 54 youngster. I mean, I can kind of agree with that. I mean, I'm 38, but I can agree 54 is still young. I mean, hell, depending on who you are, 90 could still be young if you are healthy. Silly spell check. Roy says, I enjoy listening to entertaining chat while I work. I don't interact much, but I'm laughing along with y'all. Awesome. I do appreciate that. I like that. That makes sense. I forget people work. I do. I work. I just have a really fun job and make my own hours. So I forget, like, people can't just randomly speak out. Well, I mean, you know what, not speaking out, but can't go away from what they're actually actively doing. FB/Richard says, can't tankers. I don't even know how to say that word, and I know that it's like a normal freaking word. Contentious curmudgeon. Curmudgeon. Hey, you. You said it. No kidding. I don't know you. I don't know you. So is a C like an S or a K sound? S or K sound? CERN. So works as a question. How's this going? Also as an answer. All right. Huh. And allows for a forever conversation with nothing but Sava. I don't know. Chava? Sava? Kava? I don't know. S. Okay. Sava. Sava. I'm assuming the A is off. That is so funny. That's an old joke, but it always works. That's amazing. Right, that's work. I know it is. It did. The fantastic thing is, it doesn't feel like work. I'm very blessed in that way. Micah says, "Look, I still use Windows 7 on my laptop, so no spell check here." Oh, I would think Windows 7 has some form of spell check. Maybe not off. Not. That's interesting. Oh, wait, Richard. Okay, it does, but it's not total platform. Monty, nice use of alliteration. Chess says maybe you should listen to Angelina's live concert at Portsmouth, New Hampshire, because the angels who attended said the sound was not good because the band seems too overwhelming. Some blamed the sound guy. Well, I think if it truly is not good, then yeah, it's the sound guy. Richard says correct GINX to Sabah. Daryl, so I'm going to shock you. I was 72 3 weeks ago. I have a simple motto. Growing old is inevitable. Growing up is optional. So very true. 100% agree with this. Now, sometimes certain aspects of growing up are not optional in my opinion, but I still think of myself as like 21. And I don't think that'll ever change. No matter what age I am. And no matter how old my kid gets. Like a Windows 7 probably the best version, but still Windows Linux rules. Linux rules for specific uses. I, for personally, do not use Linux. I am an odd human, of which is extremely well versed in both Windows and Apple iOS. And I don't hate either one of them. I currently I'm on a PC, and people are like, wait, you do sound engineering and audio editing via PC? Hell yes, this PC is custom made for audio production. Now, granted, it needs upgrades. It does need upgrades, massive upgrades, especially with some of the projects I'm going to be doing soon. Daryl says, I'm still 21 mentally, but my body disagrees with me. Yep, that sounds about right. Richard said, my head says 31-year-old. My body has a severe disagreement with that. When I have a bad back day or bad hip day, my body highly disagrees with thinking I'm 21. Excuse me. Like one time, I've had my back go out, like where I cannot function. My hips get so tense, and then like my lower back, I just need a stronger core, really. But yeah, my back has been royally messed up a few times. Oh, and I'm only there. And it happened in my mid to late 20s. I don't know the last time that I had my back go out, but it's been a little while actually. Maybe 5 years. Still hurts almost every day. Also, doesn't help that I sit in my chair a lot. Um, Awkward silence. And that is up to me to change. Hmm. Interesting question for those of you who are able to answer right now. Do you care anything about signs like Virgo, Libra, whatever? I don't. It was just a random thing. We're talking about ages, so I'm like, uh, I don't. I mean, I read on about them, but like I don't understand it. Daryl, that's a crazy thing about fibromyalgia. There's nothing organically wrong. It's basically a continuous brain fart that won't go away. I'm used to it now. And it doesn't yeah, I mean, I don't have fibromyalgia, although I am prone to it's an autoimmune believe, correct? And I am prone to have it. My mom has it, and yeah, it's just one of those constant things. Richard, I have to go. A heap of washing up to do, or a severe bulking will ensue. Well, you go and take care of what you got to take care of. Thank you for being here, and have a good day. Roy, what is that face? Micah, I'm a Taurus and I see some points on it, but not allowing horoscope. Not following horoscope. Monty, I'm a Scorpio, but that's all I know about it. Roy, not, but some generalizations still seem to apply like a fortune cookie. Right, right. I agree with that, Roy. I got you. I got you. I figured out. um, yeah, I'm a Virgo, but I also I there are certain things about the Virgo that I can relate to. Again, I mean they're generalizations. Uh, but there are certain things that I cannot at all relate to. And I was born early. I was a preemie. I was born a month early. I was due on October 16th, 17th. I was born on September 15th. A little, a little. I was like 5 pounds. Not super little. I mean, uh, I was slightly more healthy than other preemie. I had my umbilical cord wrapped around my neck 3 times. They saved me. The nurses who did the C-section saved me. Monty, it's like those terrible personality tests that have no scientific backing. You know, I wonder where they get their like where they how they decide, you know, what's what. Daryl, birth signs are a matter of opinion. Some say they can define your character and behavior, but I don't completely agree with that. But there are certain things that are true. I follow it out of curiosity, like sometimes. I'll sometimes read horoscope or I'll look like at the astro- astrological chart based on like the exact time, date, and place that you were born. And when they I mean, I find it interesting to look into and curious, but I've never put any true belief behind it, but I find it intriguing. But I would never be like on a date and be like, "Hey, what's your sign?" Ew, no. James, how are you? Thank you for being here. James says, "Hi, I'm one of Angelina's angels and started watching your channel to see your reactions to her." Thank you for being here, fellow angel. Yeah, there's more to come. It'll just take time. I'm excited. She's freaking fantastic. All right, sorry. Another I often forget that like yes, I'm reading things or rereading things, but I'm the only one like actually speaking. So, so yeah, the signs intriguing, interesting to read every so often. It's very dry and such in birth. First contact with mother the fourth day. It might have my ability to love and such. Mom is just I can't for some reason I cannot see a tiny portion of that chat. What the heck? Okay, first contact with my fourth day. It might have my ability to love and such. Mom is just a person. Oh my. That's rough. Daryl, I do not agree with horoscopes at all. They can influence you, so it could possibly affect your behavior. Yeah, oh, absolutely. My wife used to read them a lot, but since she stopped, her behavior has become more stable. I mean, that's absolutely true. And then that goes into the conversation of manifestation, which people don't think is a thing, but that is an example of manifestation via reading the horoscopes. Uh, I could talk about manifestation. This studio, which of you can't really see much of, a puzzle on my table that's taken apart. Studio, all of this I manifested, but I manifested it because I didn't know the exact visual, like I didn't know exactly what it would look like, but since probably 2007, I knew that I would have a studio space. I just didn't know what it would look like. And over the years, that visual became more clear. And then I manifested it by putting it together, making it happen, not doubting that it would, there was never a doubt in my mind. When you visualize, a lot of athletes practice in their head over and over and over. So they're doing their physical practice, and then, like, before they go to bed at night, they're running through a mental practice. James, seeing how you're on the subject, Angelina and I are both Capricorns. That's awesome. That's fun that you share that. I find it interesting, like I said, but not, I do not take it to heart. Oh, Micah, wind is really howling again. Blizzard round 2. Hope everyone is safe. Right, go for it. What was that in reference to? But yeah, maybe it was talking about how the fact, like, talking about manifestation. But yeah, I mean, we all manifest what what we have in front of us, like what our life looks like. We have full we have this very strange extreme control of what happens in our life based on what we're thinking. I mean, you notice people who complain a lot have a lot to complain about because they're looking for the things to complain about, and vice versa. When you're looking for something to complain about, you're going to find it. When you're looking for something to be grateful for, you're going to find it. I had to switch my mindset a lot, but I never, ever, ever, when it comes to audio engineering, stopped visualizing, dreaming. I always knew that I was going to be in the industry, just had no idea where or how or when. Other than the fact that I kept my hands dirty in the audio tech, live tech, in the meantime. There's dreaming and willing something into existence versus have a goal and focusing on the immediate steps to take in the direction of that. It's a mixture. Absolutely. I agree with that. But in order to truly manifest something like that, you have to have the dream, continue dreaming it, be willing to the work, and figure out the steps you need to take and take them. I think people have an issue with believing I can manifest that I'll be a millionaire. I'll make 6 figures in 12 months. Well, how are you going to do that? What are your steps? Micah, severe depression here. I'm retired because of it. Dreamer whose dreams got ripped away. Oh my. That's no good. I'm sorry to hear that. It's interesting what you see, read, or listen to can affect your behavior. I'm interested in neuroplasty from the point of view of training your brain to change your dexterity. Yes, me too. What we think literally changes us on a cellular level, and it changes what we are seeing from our perspective. It's weird. And it seems like it's not scientific, but there is science behind it. It's crazy. Crazy is not the word. It's intense. And being open to change as that provides opportunities. Yes. 100%. You can't say I am going to manifest. I get to manifest $20,000, $20,000 for within this amount of time. And you you can't assume that that money is going to come from a specific source. When you see when you see that $50 come in from an unexpected place, you're like, okay, that's going towards this thing that I'm trying to manifest or I'm working on manifesting. You can't be like picky about how it is manifested. Micah, depression is a blessing in disguise, never second guessing, getting wise. Ren. Yep. Depression, anxiety, ADHD, which is interesting because once I was diagnosed with ADHD, the depression and anxiety was much better taken care of via both medication, yes, and strategies via therapy. Therapy, 4 years strong now. Monty, transitioning from being in lockdown with a focus on all global issues and being extremely empathetic to all, it was crushing. Finding wholesome, close knit communities and refocusing on what I can do has been the best. Yep, I 100% agree with that. And how cool is it that we do have that ability to connect in these communities, of which we wouldn't be able to if it weren't for, resources like this. Okay, I had to look at the time. I'm setting my alarm because I gotta pick up the kiddo. My alarm needs to go off at 2 with like slight few minute leeway. You're heading out, Daryl? Oh, Daryl, anyway, it's been great chatting with y'all. My wife is pointing to her mouth. Cue for me to go make some food. I love it. Go make food, Daryl. Thanks for being here. Bye. Had to isolate myself because depression turned to anger. That's hard. And at least you recognize that. It sucks at the same time, but you recognize that. Not other people would. Yep, no, I gotcha. I remember you had that. You mentioned that in a previous live. Micah. Micah says the is that the female symbol? I don't even know. Means why? Trouble with keyboard. Regardless, I got you. And one thing I can say, Micah, you had to isolate yourself because of depression turned to anger. And now, I don't know how long you've been doing this. Have you been doing what you're doing with carpentry and like where you live and all of that? Has that been for a long time or more recently? Because I'm sure that's actually extremely helpful in the process of like working through stuff, working with carpentry and axes and things like that. Like I know it might sound silly, but it's a good outlet. All right, we are down to 4 peeps. Micah, it's been some time now since I was angry, but people remember and don't want anything to do with me. Well, I would say that here that is not the case. And I think that's a cool thing. You know, there are places for people to feel safe and feel okay to talk through stuff like this. And that's what I'm here for. I must be lagging. Shows 6 watching. You watching yourself? Actually, I wasn't. I have like a little status thing um, through OBS. Oh, it does. It says 7. Micah, 10 years and they do remember. And I learned to love solitude. James, I retired in March and then in August I lost my wife of 29 years unexpectedly. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry to hear that. So I spent a lot of time online looking for Angelina because she's such a blessing to me and humanity. I love that. Music. Music is such a beautiful connector and such a beautiful therapy. Because we all can feel it. It's just one of those things that literally connects every human being. Not to say that every genre everyone gets, but I can't imagine it. And I know there must be, but I think I just surround myself with people who feel the same, like-minded. I can't fathom people who don't have a connection with music. Like I can't fathom living like that because music was what saved my life. In 1998 when I was 12 and my brother died in a car accident when he was 18. I just hyper focused on music. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but because of how focused I was on music and the different things I heard within the music beyond just listening, I was like analyzing and dissecting without purposefully doing it. But that's how I got through it. James, oh, I already read that. Roy, depression is a tough one as it's individual to the person. Absolutely. And no one can understand. Like, as humans, we experience, some people experience depression, some people don't, which again, that's awesome. And it's interesting. But just like the death of someone, so like I lost my brother at 18 when I was 12. Even if there was someone who was you know, a girl at 12 losing her big brother at 18 in a car accident, those two aren't the same because we're completely different humans. And I talk about that in regards to how you talk about depression and tough one because it's individual to the person. We have similar experiences, but everything is extremely personal. Monty says, I think they did the same when I was young. When I start feeling down, I usually find that I haven't listened to any music in the last day or two. Excuse me. I don't know if you guys can hear me like gulping my water. Like Roy, it's just slowly killing you. You'll just lose interest of doing hobbies and what makes you happy. It's so frustrating. The executive dysfunction is awful. And it's hard to work through and past. I'm 4 years therapy strong right now. And I would not have been able to do this YouTube and talk about this and be open to the possibility of having people actually follow my channel had it not been for those 4 years of therapy. Now, when my brother passed away when I was 12, I did do grief counseling, which is slightly different, but it helped me understand at a young age how helpful it can be to have that type of support. I'm not saying, I like to say that every human should go to therapy. I'm not saying, I say should. I think it's a good idea for everyone to go to therapy. However, I understand why people don't. But yeah, a year ago, 6 months ago, I would not have been able to do this. I don't know exactly how I pushed through some years of not being in the industry, only just freelance random gigs for 8 years, but just knowing that I'd be in the industry, not knowing what that looked like. But it was just one of those things that I just somehow held on to. And here I am. It took a long time. It took me 8 years to leave a comfy, cozy job at Nationwide and say, fuck it. I am doing the thing that I actually give a shit about. Micah, love that therapy works for you. I do too. I'm very lucky. I am also extremely lucky in that I found a therapist and I've been with the same therapist the entire time. That's extremely unusual. Extremely. But we work well together. I am a completely, a different human in regards to how I see myself, in regards to who I am. I didn't know who I was probably about 2 years ago. I didn't know who I was. I was living based on everyone else's expectation of me. Nope. Gets me emotional because it's like, I think back, I'm like, 36. I was about 36 when I started to realize who I am. I was like, damn, I feel bad for that girl who had stuffed all of this down for years, decades. So I got a lot of work. I got a lot of this to do. Make up for it. And I am. I'm like getting annoyingly choked up, but it is. It's not annoying. It's me. I cry about everything. And when it's something like this, it's real. I hear that. It took me years to figure out that sometimes it's going to suck and that's normal. Oh, yeah. Like, you mean therapy? It's going to suck in therapy? Oh, it's painful. It's painful to work through this stuff. It is. My therapy was ruined because I lost my therapist and then got sent to new ones over again. How to explain it all? Oh, God. And you have to go. That's You're reliving shit that you shouldn't have to relive. Monty, now charge into the future. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely it blows my mind. James, good luck with your future and always remember to stick to your values and dreams. Thank you, and same to you. Same to everyone. I don't care what age you are. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what background you have. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know your values, it takes a lot of work. It's painful. But if you figure it out and trust yourself, you can do that too. You need to do that. I try to talk to my mom about it. And I say that in an acknowledgement of not everyone's ready to do that, and I feel that too. Well, this is great conversation. Blow some steam out to people who understand. Heck yeah. Someone, you know, might watch the replay too who needs to hear something like this. That's why I help my people, my clients with podcasts. I help them understand why what they're putting out on their podcast is important. Because their knowledge, their experience, their creativity in storytelling, their connection with individuals when they interview each other will impact the audience that needs to hear it. Any of us who have, and I said this earlier, I said this on another live, y'all probably were here, I don't know. But any of us who get to wake up in the morning, we make an impact on the people who we interact with on a daily basis, hourly basis, minutely basis. I don't know if that's a word. Whether we know it or not. So, why not make an impact on purpose? Why not be mindful how we are impacting people around us? And I don't mean by people pleasing. I mean by smiling at a complete stranger. I mean by sharing your creativity, whatever form that is, like Rin does, like Angelina does, like Nightwish does, like Ronnie Radke and Falling Reverse does, like anyone who is putting out their stuff. Whether it's creativity, your knowledge, experience, life experience, there are people that will be impacted by hearing what you have to say or what you do throughout your day and how you interact with people. Welcome to my TED Talk. Of which I have not done yet. Monty, Danny from The Warning is going to kill your soul with sweetness. Okay. Noted. I'm not even sure what that means, but I am intrigued and noted. Oh my goodness. I've got the afternoon like drop from my lovely, what was it, 3.5 hours of sleep. The triple espresso is wearing off. Micah, I'm very kind actually, but the greed and lack of empathy on other people just made me so angry. I get that. Yep. It's frustrating as hell. I'm like stretching in awkward ways. And I can't take my normal nap. I will take a nap at some point, but I gotta pick up the kid, take him to therapy. I don't know what I would do. Like I learned so much from him going to therapy too. He's 12 and he's been going through different types of therapy since probably 3 or 4, which sounds and might sound crazy, might sound ridiculous. It was necessary. He got kicked out of his first kindergarten, or not kindergarten, preschool, when he was 3 because he didn't know how to interact with other kiddos. He's neurodivergent. He has ADHD and on the spectrum. Micah, and I have a dog who saved me a lot of trouble. He came to me, stopping me to get angry, stopping me from getting angry. That's awesome. Dogs are dogs are truly, I think, pets or whatever, but dogs I have a close relationship with. Man, they are some powerful beings. When my so we found a stray dog. Her name was Chloe. Chloe. She was tiny little like Skipper Key Terrier, some sort of terrier mix. She was all black, pretty little, like a little dog. And um she was a stray. She came into our family. She was healthy. She was awesome. She was silly. I think they is it spayed or neutered? They did the thing. I think they did it too early. So she always had a very like light and playful mood, even when she was older. Um, she came into our house the same year that my brother passed away. He passed away on May 1st. And I think she was in our house maybe 2 months. Maybe. She knew she knew my brother just a little bit because he was living in dorms or an apartment or something. And but she knew him. And so when he passed away, she knew and felt us, like what we're going through. And she was a huge, yeah, part of therapy for us. She was awesome. And she lived until I was, I think, past, yeah, I think it was like just through high school, maybe a little after. Yeah, Micah says he is my best therapist, and they are. Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, they're amazing. That sixth sense that they have. It's like they are have empathy. They can sense so many things. Um, I talk about how I co-parent. Well, my when I was not separated, I we have a dog. Her name was Chloe, and we did not give her that name, which is ironic. She's big. She's a coonhound. She's awesome. Anyhow, so she was cool, and then the dog we had before that was Angel. Her name was Angel. Um, I've always had or I've always wanted a dog. If I don't have one, I want one. Well, now I when I move and get my own place, um, which I still have not done, and I very much look forward to. Um, I I won't be able to have a dog. I do not want a dog in an apartment. That I don't think that's very. I don't know. However, I do have a hedgehog, and she is amazing, and she's feisty and hilarious as hell. So she is my little pet therapist. Micah, he said he could sense when I was about to get angry. Yep. So cool. Look at me, I'm randomly flinging something around. Yep, I have a hedgehog. She's freaking awesome. Her name is 11 L. I call her L or 11 back and forth, named after 11 from Stranger Things. James, nice chatting with you, but I have to go for now. Peace and love. Hang in there and follow your dreams. Thank you, James. Peace and love to you. Have an awesome day, night, week. Yep. I have a hedgie, and she's awesome and hilarious. She'll rearrange her cage in the middle of the night because they're nocturnal. I'll wake up and it's completely chaotic. Like, she just moves shit around. It's amusing. Especially if she doesn't have her wheel. Like, I have to clean her wheel a lot. And if I take the wheel out, forget it. If I can 100% uh count on her cage being just totally rearranged if I don't have the wheel in it. It's hilarious. She's freaking cool. All right, well, it is wrapping up. We're going to wrap this up because I got to go be an adult. I got to hashtag adult and be a mama. Pick up my kiddo and take him to therapy. I appreciate anyone who has. Are you laughing at the hedgie? Micah? She's freaking hilarious. Um, yeah. Wow, ADD. Things are popping up on my screen. Anyhow, I'm hopping off here. I suck at saying goodbye. All the best to you, Micah. Thank you for being here. Thank you everyone who has stopped in, who sees the replay. Anyone, all of you. I appreciate you. I will be back on for more talk time later this week. And I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys. Thank you for everything.